we're going to move on to a film that's also out today, but we saw early thanks to previews and stuff. This is Zootropolis, the new one from Disney. Ryan.
Yeah, so we got to see this 2 weeks ago, thanks to a
And Connor, you saw it a week ago.
I did, yes, I did.
Yeah, perfect. And was there a given reason for why it's got different titles? I mean, we were talking about this, but I still haven't found out if there is a reason.
So in the States it's called Zootopia, and here it's called Zootropolis. My guess, and my really hopeful, ambitious guess, is that it's because of the show Utopia. Obviously,
I don't think people know.
But I know, but I'd like to think it's because of that, like something as disturbing as Utopia.
Doesn't need to resurrect Utopia?
Yeah. That'd be great.
It's just an Avengers assemble to Avengers, isn't it?
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
The legitimate reason for that was the fact that people thought that they might get it mixed up with the Avengers that Diana Rigg was in.
Yeah, the TV series.
Obviously, that is really famous.
And a really bad film. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Ryan.
So Zootropolis is directed by Byron Howard and Rich Moore. Howard was the co-director of Bolt, which I really liked as a kid.
I like Bolt.
And Tangled as well. And basically, it's sort of a metropolis, which is basically a city which is inhabited by all kinds of mammals. Predators and prey who are all living together in harmony. They're all living in different habitats, and they're all sort of living together where every environment is living together in harmony, no matter if you're an elephant or a shrew or anything, just all kinds
of
animals.
Talking animals, basically.
Talking animals, basically.
Yep.
The classic Disney thing. And we're following an officer called Judy Hopps, who's come from a sort of a remote place to the big city. She's played by Jennifer Goodwin, who's I don't believe which she's been in.
I couldn't think of anything
off the top of my head, but
she's good.
But she goes to the big city, and basically she immediately joins the police, and she is thought of as the little guy immediately. And to prove herself, she is given a chance to crack a big case that none of the officers have managed to crack, and she teams up with a wily old fox played by Jason Bateman called Nick Wilde, and they have to solve the case in 48 hours, or she gets kicked off the force. And so I'm glad to report that this is one of the best Disney films I've seen.
Yeah.
In a long time, because I mean there is a lot of sort of Disney films that have potential and then sort of break down and become sort of ridden with the tropes and try to be a lot less than what they could be. But it just seems really thoughtful, this film, because the message behind Zootropolis is so rich and timely, especially when you look at the inclusion in society today and sort of certain xenophobic political stances that certain
Well, not
people...
even xenophobic, just downright racist.
Yeah,
We're not going to mention any names as to who that might be, future president of the world. But
yeah. But I mean, it approaches these things in such ways that it becomes one of the most subversive and intelligent films of the year, because it is so upfront and honest in a way that kids and adults can understand. That it's not threatening in terms of being like beating you over the head with a message. It's not afraid to do that. It's always sort of letting you know, like in a way that's funny and fresh and meaningful to people of all ages, that it's okay to be inclusive for everybody. And it combines those sort of classic Disney tropes of like talking animals, as you say, and of these sort of extravagant worlds with the meaningful messages of a Disney film and tons of heart. I mean, Jennifer Goodwin anchors the film really, really well as this sort of, bullish, no nonsense, just desperate to accomplish her dreams. Judy and Nick Wilde, played by Jason Bateman's, and amazing. They work so well together.
Yeah.
The chemistry, they just rattle off each other so well. So many good lines, just constantly battering off each other. Just amazing to watch. And I was going to say, Connor said some interesting things about this after you saw it.
Yeah.
Where
should I start?
Are we going to talk about the thing that you...
I think so.
Okay, let's do that then.
I think it's worth it.
And it's something that I posted as well. Somebody else agreed with you.
Yeah,
and it's this theory here.
So a lot of people have been talking about having an attraction to the main character, Judy Hopps. I feel like I'm being really controversial.
No. I think this is what this show's for.
So, like, the way the character is designed, and it's not even just her, there's a few characters in the film. Shakira has an appearance in the film as a kind of a pop star called Gazelle, and her song features in the film. I think you'll hear that later on. But
I've just heard it before.
Before, sorry.
After, yeah.
Lovely.
And there's some weird kind of... I described it as sexualization to you, but for want of a better phrase, but I don't know if that's the right word to describe it. I guess it sort of is. I often use an analogy that when I was young, one of the first kind of crushes I remember having, I've heard people who can also agree with this, was...
Jessica Rabbit?
No, the fox from Sword and... Was it the fox or the squirrel from Sword in the Stone?
The fox.
Was it a fox or a squirrel?
It was the fox.
Something like there was like a female animal, like Arthur gets turned into an animal, and there's this like girl chasing after him, and I remember thinking that she was really cute, and like I know other people have agreed with me, and it's this weird kind of debate over like me and you were thinking, like, is it weird that these characters that are animated are being whether they're being sexualized on purpose or not, like that reaction has been had, so it's whether or not it was on purpose, it's whether or not they've done this as like a marketing ploy, and
Mm.
I don't know. There's some weird. There's a lot of interesting theory there to be.
There are
talked about.
posters put out in America that are sort of leaning towards a bit of a more
Possibly.
sort of, more audience like
The only thing that I can like put towards it is that they want the characters to be realistic,
Yeah.
and one way to do that is to give them more human features, which would inadvertently make them more attractive.
Possibly.
Like we talked about when I remember I read an article a long time ago, and unfortunately I can't like quote it directly or give the name, but I remember reading something that stuck with me about and it was when I was doing I was doing a research project on animated films, some Studio Ghibli stuff, and I was reading up on sexualization in animated movies and how it's done or why it might be done, and one of the things that was mentioned was like it's like the figure of a character is a lot. So Jessica Rabbit has a huge, like a really thin waist and a really wide hip.
But
hips,
and possibly hourglass.
Yeah, and like there's stuff like that, especially with Shakira's character.
Yeah.
It's weird. And like it's kind of a criticism of the film because it's aimed at children, and I think this is a bit of a...
Do you think it's something for the dads?
I think it is, and
Yeah.
I feel really
You know what?
weird.
When I first heard about
it.
Zootropolis, I didn't think we'd be talking about sexualization.
It's
but
really
an
odd.
interesting thing.
It's very odd.
But the big takeaway message that we got from the film is, stand up against the right,
stand up against the fear
right
of the
wing.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's well, like I mean, the kind of the idea as the film goes on is it creates this kind of schism in society.
Yeah.
The story creates a schism, and people get torn, and you get kind of one part of society which has a majority going against a minority in society out of fear that they might be taken over. And there's obvious links to Islamophobia there in the current situation in Europe and the Middle East, and like you say, it's very timely with that.
Yeah.
It's like you say, Ryan, it's very timely, and it's very poignant in this day and age.
I think because of that message, that's why it is become one of my favourite Disney films, because it is so. I mean, it is incredibly subversive in all of its content, and it's. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying we've got to wrap up, but
we were drawing comparisons to the Lego movie as well.
Yeah,
this
I
message,
agree.
Like Lego movie's got a very kind of anti-right wing message to it. This is a very kind of anti-fear message to it, and I think it's a really positive message. Like,
and
the weird sexualization
at
theories
the minute, the
aside,
two go hand in hand, don't they? Really?
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, the animation itself as well is absolutely sublime. It's an exquisitely well crafted world. I mean, obviously, all the different environments from the Sahara to the tundra.
I just wanted to see more of it.
It's amazing. I think they only showed a few of them, so you've got plenty of time in a sequel to show new ones, and it's state of the art and it's really good. But I think most importantly for Zootropolis, in Judy they've got a Disney heroine there who is, it's a welcome new Disney heroine, because it's not someone which is based on sort of the romance or type of family. It's just a woman who wants to be the best in a job, get a dream job in the city and live up to her dreams. I think that's a really good message for young girls, and just a good message in general. And it's a film that's fast and funny enough to be entertaining for all kids of all ages. And everyone.
Zootropolis is wonderful. It's for all ages, and I'm guessing we all recommend it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a watch.
That's out in cinemas today.